Second to last OTA session here from the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex. It's Steelers practice report. Nick Farabaugh, Elandon Saunders here live on the south side. Alan, today, obviously, the headlines were dominated by another Cam. Yesterday was Cam Hayward. Today it is Cam Sutton. They signed Cam Sutton, obviously, to a veteran minimum deal. He talked to us for the first time today, talked to me and a bunch of other reporters. You went off to the side and did your own little venture. We'll get to Alan's adventures. I actually like that. I'm coining that. Alan's adventures. He went off to the side. Well, you know, everyone else was talking to Cam Sutton, also talked to Minkah Fitzpatrick. But Cam Sutton today, you know, addressed everything from his role to his football mindset to his conditioning to the domestic violence arrest. So everything covered in between. Basically said, you know, about the arrest. Can't obviously say much about it. It's still an ongoing legal situation. Same thing with the league matters. That's all private right now. So is there likely going to be a suspension coming? Probably. For the personal conduct, 6 games is likely. Charles Omenihu had this basically the same thing last year, misdemeanor domestic violence charge, 6 games. That's probably what we're looking at here with Cam Sutton. Cam Sutton basically said, you know, he's holding his head high right now. It's a situation, obviously, that's extremely tenuous. And so he didn't say too much about that. You know, talked about how it was adversity. Maybe not the verbiage I would have used towards that, but you know, I think that Cam Sutton is clearly just, I think he's in a state of shock that maybe he's even, you know, got a shot now. But Steelers stayed in contact with him. He's coming in to be a slot corner, which is what it seems like. He said, you know, they're going to look at him as a versatile piece, that dimebacker role that he always did, you know, as the safety that could rotate up. And this is where Minkah Fitzpatrick comes in, because Minkah Fitzpatrick talked today for the first time at OTAs too, at least to a group. I think he did a few one-on-ones, but Minkah's been here the whole time. He's been working with Deshaun Elliott. Talked about how Deshaun Elliott really allows him to do a lot of different things, play all over the field. Cam Sutton's going to allow him to do that too. He even pointed, you know, Patrick Queen and Donte Jackson as allowing him to do that. And he coined the term Minkah Ball today. Minkah Ball is new, but what does Minkah Ball mean? And I even asked him that. What is Minkah Ball? And he said, that's when the quarterback doesn't know where I am before a play and has to know where 39 is. So he's moving around the formation, it seems like.
I'll tell you what Minkah Ball is. That's when the Steelers are winning in the fourth quarter and you just look down the field and be like, this is the drive where the game ends with the Minkah Fitzpatrick interception. Like, it seems like it's happened so many times over the last couple of years.
Right, and so it seems like that's a big part of this defensive plan, is to unlock Minkah. But let's go back to Cam Sutton, Alan. I think that's the big story of the day. On the field, I think the Steelers pretty clearly now have their starting slot corner.
I think the Steelers not only have their starting slot corner, they might have the best secondary they've had in a long time. When you look at Fitzpatrick, Elliott, Jackson, Porter, and now Cam Sutton, and that's a really, really good top 5 defense backs and a couple of really good coverage linebackers, starting with Patrick Queen. I think they're in pretty good shape in the secondary.
Yeah, I think it's the best they've had since, 2020, probably 2021. You know, when they had Hayden, Nelson, Hilton in there.
Yeah.
Sutton was there too, and Minkah was also there with Terrell Evans.
The one thing about Sutton is he's probably not as big as you would like, you know, a rundown slot to be. I do think we will still see a lot of that 3 safety look with Minkah, you know, moving into that box roll or slot roll, whatever you want to call it, and DeMonte KZ coming up to play another center field or half field safety. So, but I think the way I look at it, I would see KZ as the 6th defensive back there, probably, and then you bring in one of the other corners if you want to go to a true dime, a guy like Darius Rush or a guy like Corey Trice. I think it's a really good secondary. Yeah,
I think Deshaun Elliott's going to factor into that too in the slot a little bit, you know, as that rundown guy that maybe can blitz a little bit. And I also think, you know, because the Sutton suspension is going to be a thing, we still have a slot corner battle to watch. You know,
right.
Scott,
so guys like
Beanie,
Josiah Scott, Beanie Bishop, and Thomas Graham, and
Graylin Arnold.
just signed his first practice today. So they've got some. Those guys are still going to have to sort themselves out, and there's going to be some guys to make the team there.
Yeah, I think there will be at least one of those guys.
Beanie Bishop, I think you make an argument, has been the best rookie. Like, compared, like, obviously the lineman.
Good luck evaluating.
It's OTAs, but I think Beanie's locked down Roman Wilson in their one-on-ones. Like, he's looked pretty good. I think Beanie's been very, very solid.
Yeah, Beanie's had a nice OTAs. I really have enjoyed watching Beanie out there. So excited to see what he does when camp comes and the pads come on. I'm excited to see what happens there. Cam Sutton also, for what it is worth, just from a conditioning standpoint, looks good out there.
The other thing I want to mention about Cam is the really nice thing is, you know, he didn't have a great year playing outside corner last year, but if they do have an injury to Porter or Jackson, he certainly could go out there and play a whole lot. And while they like Rush and Trice, those guys don't have any experience. And so I think having someone with some outside experience that can serve as not only a slot corner but a backup outside corner makes him a really, really, on the field, a no-brainer addition for the Steelers.
I agree. On the field, no-brainer. Off the field, that stuff will get sorted out. We talked to Sutton too, and again, it's one of those press conferences that happens when the situation arises every time. You can't really talk in depth. It really, if you were expecting some, space-shattering moment, you didn't get it. But you can read the article on that specifically if you want to read about the off-field stuff and Cam Sutton addressing it on Steelers Now. It's at the top of the page. Feel free to read about it. But let's go to your adventures off to the side here. You talked to Elandon Roberts and Quez Watkins about a few things that you're noticing in the Arthur Smith offense.
Yeah, one of the things I've been noticing is they make really good use of tempo, varying tempo, and varying the number and style of shifts and motions. And so what I'm talking about is, there'll be a play where they just kind of the normal cadence, they get to the line, there's a motion, then there's the snap. Sometimes they'll sprint to the line. Sometimes they'll sprint to the line and then do a full shift, meaning you're moving 3 or 4 guys. It's not just a motion. And they're really stressing the communication of the defense when they do that. They're getting guys free releases, and they're making defenses be more vanilla, because you have to react to what they're doing in an instant. And so there's a broken coverage today between E-Rob and a defensive back, and got this Des Fitzpatrick open in the end zone. Des wasn't able to bring it down, but those are the kind of things when I look at this offense and say, man, they've got some creativity to it. And Elandon was really one, complimentary of Arthur Smith and the way the scheme works, and said it really is difficult on the defense. And second thing, he's like, look, we have a couple new guys, but this is a pretty veteran defense. It's really good for us to just have this new challenge. They're stressing our communication. They're giving us a reason to come to work every day and make us better. And it's not just the same old, same old. And he seemed really appreciative of the challenge of going up against this offense on a day in, day out basis. Quez Watkins said some similar things about when he's able to get that free release, man. He says that should be terrifying to defenses, and he says he loves Russell Wilson's deep ball. He got another one today. He said he told Russ at the very beginning, he said, if the goal for you will be to try to overthrow me, and he said he hasn't been able to do it so far. So those two hooking up nicely, getting some chemistry together on that moonshot. I think if you're looking at a role for Quez Watkins, I think that's probably it.
Yeah, I agree. That's probably where it is. He's one of those receivers jockeying for position on the bottom of the depth chart. I still think if we're talking about the wide receiver battle so far, obviously so early in the process, I think the clear winner right now is Calvin Austin.
I agree.
He's just been really it looks like a different Calvin Austin. I know we've done this Calvin Austin hype. A lot of it was just based on how fast the dude is. I mean, he is lightning fast, but man, he plays with that speed, that quickness this year. He is separating at will. No one's been able to cover him. I mean, every single guy he's gone up against, he's been really good. And you look at his college tape and the fits he gave Sauce Gardner and other guys.
I think this scheme is going to be really good for him too.
I'm looking forward to seeing what Calvin Austin can do in that wide receiver room. Got anything else, Alan?
I think that's it.
That's it for now. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. Check out all this stuff at SteelersNow.com. We'll have more stuff on Cam Sutton. We'll have Minkah Fitzpatrick. We'll have a ton of stuff, takeaways, all of that. After and Drive will be coming soon on this channel, shortly after this video goes out. So make sure to check that out. Folks, thanks for listening. For Nick Farabaugh, Alan Saunders.